It's been a while since I've done a video on Mario Kart Tour, hasn't it? Well, that's mainly because there hasn't been any real update on it since the beta test. The first beta test. But I have a theory about Mario Kart Tour. What if, just what if, there's a second Mario Kart Tour beta test you might be playing right now? What if I told you that it's not even Mario Kart? That's right. What if Dr. Mario World is actually a beta test for Mario Kart Tour? It sounds silly at first, but once you start to put the puzzle pieces together, it all makes sense. Join me in this video to find out how Dr. Mario World could very well be a beta test for Mario Kart Tour. How on earth could Mario Kart Tour be related to Dr. Mario World in any way? How could a kart racer have any connection with the puzzle game besides both of them being Mario games? The answer is quite simple. During my time in Greece, along with enjoying the beautiful beaches, eating the delicious food, and seeing family, one of the highlights for me was playing the Mario Kart Tour beta. It was something I was very excited for, and it was awesome playing it early. As I said in the disclaimer, I'm not going to share any footage, so you'll just have to trust me when I point out the similarities between the two games. Nintendo said not to share any images or videos of Mario Kart Tour, and I think that's totally fair. Now, the games are developed by different developers. Dr. Mario World is co-developed by Line and NHN, while Mario Kart Tour is being co-developed by DNA. But both games were overseen by Nintendo, and I've noticed a lot of similarities between the two games. You might think I'm looking too deep into things at first, but once you start to see the similarities, it all makes sense. The first similarity between the two games is the heart system. This is a stamina system that I can't stand, but it is in both games. Originally, when Dr. Mario World came out, you could have a maximum of 5 hearts that would refill over time. But then a few weeks later, Nintendo updated the game to let you have a maximum of 45 hearts, making the game actually playable. This is important to note because Nintendo is also using a similar heart system in Mario Kart Tour. Only difference is, I don't think there's a limit about how many hearts you can have, and you don't get a heart if you win a race. Considering Nintendo updated Dr. Mario World so soon to increase the heart count, makes me wonder if Nintendo might ditch the heart system entirely for Mario Kart Tour. I honestly hope they do. Another big similarity is how characters work. Both games have a lot of characters you can unlock, but I will admit it's way more amusing in Dr. Mario World because, you know, Dr. Waluigi? Come on. What's interesting to note is that each character has their own special ability that will make them ideal to play as in certain situations. There have been levels where I need to clear bricks, and I always choose Dr. Wendy for that. But if there's ice, have no fear, Dr. Ludwig is here. Still find it weird that they only included 2 Koopalings. I mean, you either include them all or include none of them. The only game that did this was Mario and Sonic at the Rio 2016 Olympics, but I digress. Mario Kart Tour has character-specific items, and some characters will be better on certain tracks than others. For example, Mario will have 3 item slots and an increased chance of getting an item frenzy on Mario Circuit, while Bowser will only get 1 item slot. The only difference is, Mario Kart Tour will tell you what character is ideal for the track, while Dr. Mario World leaves it totally up to you. So what is the biggest similarity between the games? By far the biggest similarity between the two games is the method of unlocking characters, and that's the fact that it's completely randomized. The way you unlock stuff in Dr. Mario World is by staffing a doctor or assistant. Then with Mario Kart Tour, you play a pipe that will unlock a character, cart, or glider. Regardless of my thoughts and your thoughts on the ethics and legality of gacha mechanics, they're both present here and serve as a main way of unlocking characters. There are 3 big similarities between the two games. And there's one big similarity between the 3 similarities that leads me to believe that Dr. Mario World is a test for Mario Kart Tour. All 3 similarities I mentioned are the most controversial aspects of mobile games. Stamina, unlocking characters turned into essentially gambling, pay to win with these characters. These are the 3 main things people complain about most when it comes to mobile games, and because of how heated things have been with the ethics of loot boxes and proposed laws against them, I honestly think Nintendo was testing it with Dr. Mario World to see if people are willing to spend their own money to essentially gamble. They did this with Fire Emblem and Animal Crossing too. But Fire Emblem is niche and Animal Crossing didn't have much of an incentive to buy Leaf tickets. There's nothing more iconic than Mario except for maybe Pac-Man when it comes to gaming, and for Nintendo to release a smaller Mario game with this system first makes me believe they're just testing the waters. Let's face it, Mario Kart is the one series that anyone can have fun and play. I've never met a single person who doesn't like Mario Kart. It's the best-selling game on the Switch and is always one of Nintendo's highest-selling games. Nintendo can't afford to tarnish the reputation of Mario Kart. Dr. Mario, on the other hand, is a much smaller series. It hasn't had a full-on physical game since the N64, and has remained a game that is featured in compilations or as a download-only title. Testing the controversial aspects of mobile games with the much smaller Mario series makes a lot of sense. The Mario Kart Tour beta in May was to see how people felt about the gameplay, presentation, and the mechanics of the game. Dr. Mario World is a test to see if people are willing to pay to unlock stuff. In the Mario Kart Tour beta, you couldn't pay for emeralds, but in Dr. Mario World, that's the only way to get diamonds, and essentially they're both the same thing anyway. Nintendo is still fairly new in the mobile market, and they have a way different audience than something like Kings, which has been a mobile developer way longer than Nintendo. Super Mario Run could have been a big success, but we all know how that turned out. It's clear Nintendo sees Mario Kart Tour as a game that'll be their major mobile hit, and that's why they're being so careful with it. They did the first beta test in May to get a general idea how people felt about the game. Now with Dr. Mario World, I think they're testing to see if people are okay with the three controversial aspects I mentioned earlier in Mario games. And from what I can tell, people aren't okay with it. The game has made considerably less than the previous Nintendo mobile games in its first month, and I blame that entirely on people not wanting to play a game that uses a stamina system and gacha system to unlock characters. With the previous stamina system where it was only 5 hearts, how could you really play the game? Unless you were really good at it when you first started, there really wasn't a whole lot of playtime if you lost 5 times because you'd have to wait almost 3 hours to get all your hearts back. And of course there's a gacha system to unlock characters people don't like. I really like Dr. Mario World. I really do. But I haven't spent a dime on it. If I could buy the doctors I wanted for a reasonable price, I would be happy to get them. But I don't see the point in paying so much for a chance to get a character, and it seems a lot of other people don't either. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments and keep calm and da-da on.